just wanted to do a little touch-up astrology after we've been mangled by this month. See, what narcissists of our earth don't understand is that we are a non-physical operations as far as how we animate. We're purely electrical, and then there's a cosmos, and that's what we're looking at with astrology for whatever reason. How? It's an ancient thing, and I think it's a course in college that you can take if you want. It's just an esoteric symbol system sent from outer space, most likely. That points at all possible sciences. It's the only science, the main science that points at all other possible sciences. Yeah, I've described it. It's just a tool. It's not the actual. See, the whole thing about it, when we get in here and we start talking about it, it's not doing things. There's a massive amount of possibility that it would just take too long to talk about it, like with one aspect, like what we have in the sky. But if you're a really good astrologer, an intuitive astrologer, which I was born to be an intuitive something, and astrology is one of them. No, I have the aspect of the astrologer. I mean, believe it or not, you are born to do things here. You are born things. Like, really, believe it or not, babes, you know what? Musicians, you are born. You are a born musician. What I mean is, real live musicians, babes, and we don't see them much out there anymore. But they are born to do that. A lot of times, this is a prominent Libra. Didn't say that you can't learn it and mimic it, but it came from somewhere, and they were born to bring it up and out, kind of like Tesla was born to remind us that there's a possibility that there's an electric universe, and things are communicating like crazy, and just quiet yourself down and listen. So, yeah, having said that, boy, yeah, the overlay that they're doing as far as the suggested, like, hey, let's talk about the news instead of look at astrology. I mean, that's the real way. The newscasters would get out and say, "Boy, can you feel that Venus square Mars in the sky, square, conjunct Jupiter, square Saturn?" Well, nevertheless, Venus, because Mercury over there, having gone direct from Leo, going to now head back into Virgo, we're sure going to get a taste of what Venus has been working on this whole time. And if Venus isn't still in Virgo, because we have Mercury gone direct today, and is now going forward back away from its whole journey of going through, and now we're going to go back through the shadow again, and by the 28th is when it goes direct, okay? So then, now I was looking at, now to flip the book to September, Mercury, what I was looking at now is just to see, wow, so by September 1st we have Libra going into its home sign of Venus, going into its home sign of Libra. And, I really wish that narcissists would snap out of it and understand what's in the air. What is happening? Because, I mean, really, if you know an astrologer personally, I mean, one that was born as an astrologer, let's say born musician too, I think we'll we will see a time, or did we already see the time? See, this is what the East was doing, or is still doing, but it's known well over there. It's where we get the story of the guru, which nobody likes it in the West because they forget what it all is. They misunderstand it, and then they complain about, yeah, and then the guru, here, let me erase some videos. The guru ends up having sex with them, and it's like, no, you end up wanting to have sex with us, period. We can't do that to every single one who has fallen deeply in love with us. And that's a guarantee, because the guru is who? What? Is love embodied. And it's kind of complicating as far as God having fit inside of a human body to try to tell people what she is about. And when I say she, babes, he is there. Let me get my marker. Don't panic. Pardon me. I wanted to talk about the astrology. Yes, did you like the way I ran it down? It's possible. When Mercury gets away from Leo, which is like this, I don't know. I just, it's gonna see now. Okay, it's on the 10th when Mercury gets back into Virgo, and that's when we're gonna really start doing the work. Even though Venus is already there, it was squaring the hell out of everything that was Mercury ruled over there, Mars and Jupiter Mercury ruled, and then the Saturn subdue. It's interesting. It's looking like mankind. If we look at Mars and Jupiter there, if you ask me, they're getting their ass whipped about how non-productive they are with their mentality, the way that they I was going to say they use their mind, but really their mind is using them. And with that, it's flipped over as far as the currency. Um, are we working for money, or is money working for us? And so let me erase some of these videos right in front of your face, because this thing is threatening to stop my video in mid lecture or whatever. And some people are built to are here to do motivational speaking, and that's what I'm doing. Believe it or not, we'll get better. We don't want to be too away from our most natural self. We're not trying to. In other words, we're not trying to be anything else but what we are. And having said that, I'm so glad you can't see. I'm naked from the waist down, like any other newscaster. Okay. I'm a Venus in Virgo. Pardon me while I do the weirdest humor sometimes, right? Because I'm Mercury ruled Venus, and then the secret with me too. See, I have 5 planets under the rulership of Venus in Libra. So when we pay close attention, when we have at the beginning of the month Venus at 2 degrees, and it starts to hit my 369 feeling fine, which I'm Mars ruled, and then that's where I have Sun, Mars, Pluto, and that's 369. And when Venus hits those, I hope I can take a shower still. I'll show you what I mean. It looks really great. I mean, it's like you can't go wrong. Take a photo shoot if you ever have Venus conjuncting your. How about you? Do you have a nuclear powerhouse called 369 feeling fine in your chart? People are unique, and it's like, oh man, can we cut that person's 369 off? It's like, no. I love you too, whatever is going on with you also with your planet. People are, no matter what, people are miserable here with everything, especially if it's an amazing 369. It's like, oh shit. You mean I'm a nuclear powerhouse? Inexhaustible energy, especially with the I didn't just say that we don't get irritated. It can't be productive. See, it's of course we heal and get out of our face while we try to do that. But can you please learn how to be reciprocal and like treat it like it's sacred, whatever it is, because it's just pure energy. That's all. When we're talking about Mars and the sun together, pure energy. And then with Pluto tapping it, pardon me, I gotta get uh, my glasses. Um, yeah, it's just pure energy. Pluto is God, by the way. It just turns into a freaking um, nuclear powerhouse. Better than that, talk about it. It's that Pluto that really, because Pluto is God, it it's rules truth, and it's about the eternal, like the what's the word for that? M, um, mortal, immortal. It's about the immortal self. The holy goat. All right, so September coming up, we have that Venus switches over into Libra right before it goes into September. And my birthday, I'm actually a Libra. I talk about Aries a lot, but it's because I'm an Aries rising, and at the time of day that you were born is the sign that you are. It's the sign that's rising when you were born on the horizon. That's how you tell your rising sign. The sign that's rising on the horizon at the time of day that you were born. That's your sign. When you say, "Hey, I am a," that's why, because it's the first house, and the sun's even the sun's energy, along with all of the other cosmic energy, which is all the planets, and who knows, um, else out there, it's like lots of objects affecting us, right? Everything is, we're all being affected, but these things, anyway. Pure technology, by the way, it's hard to tell what's going on. It's all cloaked in gases and crap. Um, the sun's rays is filtering through your as a holographic phenomena, this is very important to know. It's science. It's pointing at how it's working, and it's your physical expression. It's what people see right away at a party. Like that's what so-called guards you at a party. It's your first house, Aries. Aries and the first house always are the same. And then see, that's when you're born, say with Sun and Aries on the ascendant in the morning. You're born in the morning when the Sun in Aries was rising. It's on the ascendant. So that's a natural house placement. It's just first house rules Aries, second house is Taurus ruled, and then down to 12th is Pisces, and it's kind of like ho hum, but it's called just uh, what you see is what you get. We're kind of upfront and frank and naive as hell, and we do know when we're being like naive and giving you a chance after a chance after a fucking chance after a chance after. We know you're full of shit. Chance after a chance to take off your mask. Chance after a chance to give it a little bit more. Really? Yeah. Anyway, um, anyway. So why am I going like this? Because the sun, it starts to change. You can have it starts to rise. The sun is rising now, and the time is going, and the Aries say like this is the sun right here, and this is the first house, but now it's going to dislocate and go into Taurus, um, the second house of Taurus, even though it's in Aries still, and then it goes into the third house of Gemini, even though it's in Aries still, and so that changed the ascendant, and according to what time of day you're born, that's what you are as the ascendant. You're the rising sign. Your sun is going somewhere, and in accordance to what time of day you were born, the sun was someplace in the sky around the sphere there. Anyway, thanks for listening to this. I might, I might edit this, but sometimes I'm a pretty lonely person. I think humanity is lonely. For whatever reason, we can feel that way in ourselves here, from one household to the next. I mean, I hope you guys aren't feeling that way. I know I am. People like me, um, we need a better support system. See, Um, you have to know that family is an illusion. Um, I didn't just say that I don't care about so and so over there that still might be in connection, but if you had a Saturn and Cancer in the house of Cancer, in when Saturn's in the house of Cancer, even though it's not in Cancer, it could be anywhere, but if it's in that fourth house, those people are suffering from something of their home. It feels odd anyway. Let's just to say the least, because Saturn tends to take away from whatever it's touching, and so it's kind of a double whammy with me with it in Cancer. My mother, my mom, she was wheelchair bound by the. Are you ready to hear this? Get your gasoline out and ready to put yourself on fire? No, I'm just kidding. I don't wear it like that. Tragedy that is just life itself. Unless you're a narcissist, right? I mean, it's amazing. It's like, you know what? Shall I pick out every fucking horrible, boundary breaking thing and stuff that I can't control at all too, and just say I am this? No, no. Creative people, highly creative people, know better than that, and we move on. We are now. So let's see. We will look at the planets with you and me, um, and because here it is, the goodbye August kind of thing. Give Mercury some time. See what now. We can't just pass up August. Well, here's what's happening. Venus.
Little kitty!
Pardon me.
Hi, you baby. Oh, I just met this little guy. Oh, God. No, I'm in good shape. Hi, little sweetie. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, just another little baby. Mm-hmm. That's nothing. No, best.
Pardon me. Why this cat right here?
Hi. Oh,
Did you know your thing? And cats are so cute. They're smart. They're smart. They're just hip to the trick. These are 5D cats. All right. I have something important to talk about with this astrology that's coming up. The Neptune aspects. How do you like those editing moves? I hope you're paying attention. That's all we can afford. I don't know about you, but that's all I can afford. I don't have any money.
hi, baby boy. Hmm. Oh, another little boy. He's our coop. That's the cutest thing in the yard. Oh, it's right there.
He purrs so loud, and I wish he could.
Oh. Uh,
I love his little sister. Very, very different personalities, right? It's like me and this little boy fell in love like crazy, and I happen to think it's a return of a cat that I had. They kind of make their way back to us. But this little guy, so cute. Pardon me.
hi, little baby. What are you doing there? Oh, really? No. Okay. Oh,
So men and women need to open up to each other and talk more, show their feelings more. And when you hold back at the slightest, like play, that's not right. But anyway, it's none of my business. But uh, so we have these aspects that both Venus, men and women, Mars, are going to go through. Um, see, now we have it's going to be the 25th, and so Neptune is at 29. So now we're looking at the degree of um, it's looking like it'll be first. It will be Venus at on the 29th. It will square Neptune. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's going to oppose Neptune, and that's where see you're going to the entire your antenna on everybody. Yeah, if you're a Neptunian person and if you practice, I mean, if you don't, it's not practice, but see the whole of humanity is under a spell, and it causes self-deception across the board, and it's hard to tell who is who. Pardon the lighting, but I do want there to be a scene where my cats show us how cute they are. There we go. Anyway, and so, but with Venus there opposing Neptune, see, the Neptunian medium where people are fully deceived, right now they're getting clarity of things, and it's not easy with that. It's hard to tell what to do with that, right? Because people that like feed literally on the Kool-Aid and all of the suggestion and Disneyland and the church and everything, right? This you've been lied to about everything. Um, when they begin to see, when the veil begins to go away, ah, can you imagine how depressing and how it's called disillusion it is? You know, so delusional, and then well now is the time for that to happen for these kinds of people, for everybody really. And if you're really really off into self-deception and all that stuff, I mean it can get just, I mean you can imagine, they probably can't even imagine too. They're like, what's happening? Very trippy time to have. I'm sure it's just to have these. So Venus will be square Nep. I'm sorry, oppose Neptune right before it's at 29 degrees, and then it goes into beautiful Libra, and that's gonna go across my 369, and you'll see what happens when Venus goes over your Sun, but also your Mars ruler ruled chart. See, when it goes over your Mars too, it happens once. Well, however long it takes for Venus to go around the zodiac, it'll only happen conjunct your Mars once. And I don't want to talk about it. I never do, but I'm interested in partnership. I am. I'm interested in how do we the quality of the relationships that we are conducting on this plane. I am deeply um, concerned over it. I'm a musician, and so it's like, well, how how do we get together and play? Let alone how do we play together? And then and that's just kind of all blown apart. When Pluto gets away from Capricorn, where it is now, it's going back into Capricorn at 29 degrees. It's going to hit it. Where's my glasses? Good God. Sorry. Just got carried away with the cat. Um, it's on, here it is. It's, yeah, on the 3rd, Neptune hits 29 Capricorn. And it's like opening up the witch's box. It's like the stirring cauldron of. Now, it reminds me of when 29, the sun is at 29 Capricorn, it's moving into the dead of winter. And it reminds me of the dark night of the soul. It reminds me of those long nights. But if you see, if you're paying attention, especially in the United States, and then of course this affects the rest of the world. Um, there is a collective dark night of the soul happening. Yeah, because the Pluto at 27 degrees is where it was when it was that way last time, 250 years ago, is when the independence was signed, and it's like we don't even know what we're being independent from. Who claimed their independence there? Because there's two types to be found here on this plane. Don't you think that there should be two constitutional rights here? Yes. Even if it is, what if it is? Let's humor the men and women thing, because really it's non-human and human, and both men and women have the possibility of becoming enlightened. But the story goes, it's possible that you are born enlightened, and I don't want to get into this conversation right now. I'm not a biased person or anything. Do you think I should cut this hair off? I do. Where's my scissors? I always think I'm gonna do this. This is a Venus in Virgo, and it's like it's time to fucking do it. Well, you don't really want to do it while you're when you're having a Venus. No, the opposition Neptune is fine, babe. It's now time. See, we can't stay in deception forever. Not really. I mean, somebody's gonna catch a glimpse of this, and if anybody can, that Venus in Virgo is gonna be like taking notes, like, oh, and really, because well, after all, Pluto does kind of it's an elementary trine there to Mercury, and so, but Mars is, see, now the main thing that we want to watch with this Neptune transits that are coming up is that Mars is going to square to, okay, it's right, okay, now it's at 29 degrees. In September, it'll be like September 5th, it'll be square to Neptune. And it's like this, watch your narcissist, but mainly it's the people. See, it's a Mercury ruled thing too. We've already experienced these conjunction or squares. One time it was retrograde last year. Mars and Gemini was retrograde last year for a long time, if you remember, I think, and it kept rubbing against um, Neptune. And I think at the beginning of the year, I mean, it was kind of starting, and it was doing that all year or something, and that's when the word gaslighting was the word of the year or something, according to the collective somewhere. And of course, and yeah, if you are somebody who has a hard Neptunian, if you're a Neptunian person who you kind of live in a fog of projection from other people. It's hard to tell, even for you, who you are. And it's in your, if it's a square, if you have a square, like, or if you have it on a hard angle, like some people are born with Neptune. I was talking about the ascendant, which is the projector of your very bodily expression. And so if you have a planet on it, that when people it's what guards you at a party, and so you have Neptune there because it's your physical. It's really just your outward holographic demeanor, minus Aries, and then when you penetrate in and you look at the sun, it's in Libra. I'll be having my birthday at 3 degrees Libra here in September. And I've lived such a isolated and lonely life up here. It's pretty lonely and isolated, and I've never felt it more. Um, as far as like, well, it would be nice to at least receive some fire starters because I live in the mountains, and we should. It's an easy life, but it's like it's easy to too easy to It's very distracting nowadays. It's hard to keep up with how that. Well, it's I don't know. It's changing for me, and I would like for once at least because I don't think it's going to last forever. I know that my life is changing with the nodes going on, and we have a full moon eclipse season happening with the nodes again, Libra, Aries axis, and it's about men and women again. And I think naturally, if you can hear some of the stuff I'm channeling also about language and how it really starts to point at something very universal. I'm not into the bias scene. Whenever you see the word her, the word he is there. See, the thing is, if you can't see it, then there's a problem with you, right? And it's kind of metaphorical. It's kind of listen to how you start talking about it. It's like, no, if you can't see he and her together as one, and I'm not saying that there isn't something to distinguish with them. Of course there is. Um, it's interesting because if you do put the R up in all capital, it's a complete her. And see, all I'm thinking is that of the reversal thing, but really the R means um, just a kind of oscillating back and forth um, reversal. It can be seen that way, and it has that's when it's showing that it has both in them, like the word she too. She will just boast that it has he in it. Like the word female, it's less complete if you just say male, as far as that there's two here. Female, see, unquestionable, she has male in there. All right, so getting back to with these full moons here and stuff, I have a little concentrating to do on my communications. I'm sure I can get a little bit of help. It doesn't take much for me to keep myself chugging just a little bit. I know, see, for me personally, and it's for a lot of people, if you're an Aries or a Libra. Now, Libras are particularly, they're having to dismantle whatever subconscious wiring that they're working with that gives them their narcissism, I guess, and the problem of toxic relationships and even taking on the victim role, kind of needs to go. Okay, I'm the Aries rising, who thank God for my Aries rising that weeds out a lot of the Libra that I do have, and I just gone through a crash course with a lot of the stuff that. Well, okay, so that wasn't really my work that I had to go through. It wasn't my work that I needed to do. As far as what has influenced me, like we're kind of helping each other home or whatever, and um, I can let people in on it later. As far as just, it's better to communicate, and there's so much clarity coming in right now with that Neptune thing, like I was trying to talk about, and then all I'm saying is this: watch if you know people that are borderline whatever, they don't know the difference between the mind and reality, which is most of the 80% of the population. Now I hear it's like 92% or something based on some kind of study that's like, oh, okay, so something about the meta and pictures and stuff. And it's like they don't even know the difference or anything. And then let's fact check on something that's you couldn't prove that it existed anyway because it's on this thing. That's a big joke that they're playing on people. Big joke. Just let's get to arguing about in a house of mirrors, smokes and mirrors, man. While something over here is engineering the whole thing, man. They're like, yeah, whatever, man. Under a spell. That's what we're gonna be experiencing here. Like it's coming on, and see, but because of Neptune and Pluto are going retrograde, they're causing so much clarity right now. It's not funny. It's not funny for the ghostly postulation. Um, yeah, the holy ghosters. How about that? Thanks for listening to all this. I was hoping my cats would play with their. I got the balls out of it. They like toilet paper. If you want to make a lot of money, here's a multi-millionaire thing. Um, because well, narcissists. What else are they gonna get? Just um, for their cats. Um, you don't want them to grab your actual toilet paper. Have you ever noticed when they get a hold of a roll of toilet paper, they go mad, and they really try to bite it, and they get it, and they start kicking it, and you can tell, and they just sink their teeth, and then, and anyway, they start doing the confetti thing, and they love it, and it's like you have given them something. It's like cotton candy to a woman or man or child at Disneyland. You get the idea. So now what you are to do right now is steal this idea and come up with just littler roles, just toy roles for them. You love your cat and just say, and package them just like toilet paper rolls. You might even be able to use them as little tissues, but really make them little small ones. Just for the kittens, though. These are for kittens, not for big people, big ones. You can always buy a pack of big ones for them, like I do. I would like to. Who can afford that? And Dave, I can barely afford a down payment for a Hershey bar right now. That's why I pay attention. I have attention though. I have tons of attention. Big buckets in the back and stuff. I fill up every day, and so I can pay attention. Um, that's all I can afford, really. But you know what's weird? Nobody. It's like it's a threat. I mean, especially like over there, where they might have been pouring asphalt. You know how I paid attention there. They didn't appreciate it at all. There wasn't any change that I could see that came back. Um, there is, but we're working on it. It's almost like, hi Christ, and is that my crucifix over there? It sure is.